Hello, welcome to another Alpha Striker We Play video. My name is Adam and this is my friend Tarron.
Hey buddy, how we doing?
Good, good. Alright, we have been going through these videos talking about ballistic weapons.
Yes.
Or BattleTech.
Yes.
And we are up to machine guns. Whoosh. The ultimate DACA.
The
Really,
ultimate DACA.
Let's face it.
Let's get some DACA in our lives, buddy.
That's it. So let's put some tables up on the screen, Tarron. Bing! Thank you.
I'm getting good at this.
You are.
I better center it a little. Wait a second. There you go.
Look, machine guns, they seem to get a bit of a rough ride from people. People who say, oh, look, I don't like them. You know, they got this and that. There's this problem, that
Pointless,
problem.
don't do that. They don't do enough damage.
Maybe after you've watched this video, you might change your mind a little bit. We'll see. We're not trying to, we're just telling you how it is. So you
will definitely change your mind about throwing infantry at them. That's
yeah.
Dear,
wow.
oh dear.
Alright, let's start with the basics.
Start with the basics. So you can see on the table there, the light version is 1 damage for 0 heat. No machine gun builds up heat.
Yep.
There's some funky rules later on that you can get into. Maybe we'll go into them at some point where they will build up heat. But standard everyday machine gun rules, you do not build up heat. You don't get much range, unfortunately. The light machine gun there in a sphere takes out to 6, and the standard machine gun goes out 3, and you will spot there that the heavy machine gun does not have a long range. So you are limited to 2 hexes away, but you're doing 3 points of damage for no heat.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know, 6 hex range isn't too bad. I mean, it's 1 point of damage, sure, but...
it's 200 rounds of ammo.
Yeah. But you can take half tons.
Yes, you can,
for that,
and you should usually. It's because if that full bin gets hit, that's 200 points of damage you take in internal. So
well, it's that many points times the damage of whatever. So yeah,
not good at all. They only weigh half a ton, but they take up a critical space for the first two there. The heavy machine gun is a full ton, which is a little unfortunate, but still pretty cool. I believe the clan versions just skimp on the weight.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
They are good though.
Look, no heat, okay?
No heat, none at all.
It's good,
Yeah.
It is good. But you were mentioning infantry and things like that, so it's probably important to mention these do have like a real taste for infantry.
They are good at
they love them.
Getting rid of infantry.
Yeah.
Very good at getting infantry.
So it's a burst, what they call a burst fire weapon. So if you go to, and depending on what weight class of the machine gun it is, so if we have a look here, there's on page 217 on the Total Warfare book, got here, there is a burst fire weapon damage versus conventional infantry table. Standard machine gun, 2d6. So 2d6 guys die. So you're not just doing 2 damage, which is what you do to like a tank or whatever it is. It's 2d6 troopers. Now most squads are like jumps are like 21 members and 28 for foot troops.
Yeah.
So 1 machine gun. Now that's assuming that the troop is in some sort of cover. They're in a building or something like that. If they're in an open hex, you double that damage.
Which is 4d6. Or do you roll your 2d6 and then double it? Ooh.
Good question.
Wow. But that is...
Why before you do that?
I'm sorry.
It's still a lot.
It's still a lot.
It's still a lot. But that heavy machine gun, 3d6.
Wow.
I would say, it does say you double it. So I would roll
and then
double it. That's probably the best thing to do. It's simpler.
So you're looking anywhere, for a standard everyday machine gun, you are looking anywhere from 4 to 24 damage.
Yeah.
Which means you have the potential to wipe out an entire platoon with 1 machine gun.
Yep.
If it's not in cover and you roll well. That's just rude.
It's terrible.
That's rude.
Really bad. And people are saying, oh, why would you take conventional infantry? Well, we'll do another video on conventional infantry.
They are good. They're actually really, really good.
Yeah.
They can be very, very helpful, but don't put them in front of things with machine guns or flamers or anything that doesn't
Flamer is king for taking them out. It's just 46 flat damage and stuff. It's terrible. But machine guns, depending on what you've got,
yeah,
they are good.
They're really good at getting rid infantry, and they're not too bad against things like battle armor as well. So even with the standard elemental type guys, they're not awful at getting rid of stuff like that.
Yeah.
One thing they are good for in large battles is they tend to be used for crit seeking. So it's only doing 2 damage, but each 2 damage is a potential for critical. So if you've got a mech that's got a lot of armor stripped away, you are rolling that 2 points of damage onto a location. And if you've got multiple machine guns, then you're rolling multiple dice. The more dice you roll, the more likely you are to get a location that matters.
Yeah. So the clans do actually have a second line mech, 30 odd tons or something like that. It's called the Piranha.
Yes, lots of machine guns.
12 machine guns, a couple of ER mediums to back up, but it's 9-14 movement, so it's really fast, and that's a lot of damage at short range for no heat. It doesn't have to worry about the heat.
If he goes into battle against infantry, those guys are dead. If he goes into battle against any other light mechs, like really seriously light mechs, we're talking Locust and some of the low-level commandos, those mechs are taking a boatload of damage from that, and it's all over the place. It's not a single spot. It's and that's it's solid stuff. And with that type of movement, he can get into rear arcs. He can get into cover very quickly. He can do all sorts of stuff. They're really good mechs. I like them.
But there was a piece of tech that we came across that's quite useful for machine guns. In fact, it was made specifically for them.
Oh, the array.
The array.
Yes.
So, do you want to tell us about that one?
So you're looking at 1/2 ton for your machine guns and 1 ton for your heavy machine gun. But if in the location where you have multiple machine guns, you add this machine gun array, an MGA, you add 1/2 ton and 1 critical space. And what you can do is you can link every machine gun up to 4 machine guns in that same location together. So they all fire as 1 unit, okay? It doesn't sound that big a deal because, basically you're firing them all anyway, so what difference does it make? Why am I wasting my ammo? So what you're doing is when you hit with an MGA, you roll one lot, and if you hit, you roll on the cluster table for the size of the MGA, so up to a 4. The result is a number of hits that struck the target, with each hit's damage equal to the damage value of the appropriate machine gun type. Okay? But the important bit is, once you have that clustered value, you roll 1 location, and all the machine guns that hit that location. They don't hit singly, they hit separately. So it's not, say you hit with 3 normal machine guns out of a 4 cluster, out of a 4 array. You hit 3 times for 2 damage, not once for 6. Okay? And those of you who are strategic about your stuff will realize what a good idea that is. That is cool. It is really, really cool. So it's not 1 6-point thing, it's 2, then 2, then 2. Hit. And if that's a location that's lost all its armor, that's 3 critical chances. If it's a, if it's a location like a head, if you can hit them in the head with a machine gun array and hit with multiple machine guns, that is 3 hits to the pilot and 3 consciousness checks.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's brutal.
It's really, really good.
But it's it was 4 per array maximum, wasn't it? And it has to be the same type, so you can't mix heavy and light machine guns. It's got to be the exact same type.
So if you have, say, the Piranha as an example, if you've got 4 machine guns in the same location and you can spare that 1/2 ton and 1 critical space, then you can have all 4 of them fire as a single unit. And you can put multiple MGAs with multiple unit lots of machine guns.
Yeah.
Right? So you could have a full-on anti-infantry dude like the Piranha that just goes nuts.
Yeah.
And it's rude.
That also works for the burst fire as well. So you'll be rolling 2d6 and then you times that result by however many
Yeah.
were in that array. So,
And then if they're out of cover,
It's
you double the result.
So no one's surviving that.
No.
Like 2 of them with a decent roll.
Even if you roll a 2, there's very little chance for them to come back from that.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But you don't have to use the array. You can disable it, can't you?
Yeah, you can turn it on and off like you do with the heat sinks.
So that's the end phase, right?
End phase. So in any subsequent turn, they can be fired individually, and then the MGA can be turned back on during the end phase of any turn, after which it functions as described.
Yeah.
If the machine gun array is destroyed, then you just keep firing them singly, so that's fine. And if a machine gun in the array is destroyed, then you can fire the array as the next lowest one. So if you started with 4 machine guns and one of them gets blown up, you just roll on the 3 cluster table. No big deal. No problem with that.
Yeah. It's quite flexible. So that Piranha we're talking about, you turn the array on to go against armoured targets to maximise your damage.
Maximise damage.
Turn it off and wipe out multiple units of...
It's just rude. And even ruder is that the clan ones, they're basically the same, but they're half the weight. So heavy machine gun for the inner sphere is 1 ton, 1 critical space, and for the clans it's half a ton, 1 critical space.
Yeah.
And the other 2 are 0.25 of a ton. And their machine gun array is lighter as well.
Yeah.
So that's 0.25 tons.
There you go.
It's just rude.
It is. It's crazy, but it's an interesting sort of twist on the machine gun. It gives you some options. It's quite good.
I could see myself making a light hovercraft or something like that with a turret and a machine gun array.
Yeah.
With like 2 machine gun arrays with 4 heavy machine guns in each one. I could do that.
Something like the Locust. Do a custom
Locust.
Just get rid of like medium lasers and that sort of thing. Just go full on machine gun. You've got the speed. Get into your rear arc. Switch on the array and just start. Yeah. But bottom line is, if you're conventional infantry, don't go onto the battlefield.
No, just stay in a building or something.
Yeah.
Don't walk outside at all, ever. But that, I mean, the heavy machine gun is 3 damage.
Yeah.
So it's rude.
Yeah, it is. For no heat, doing that sort of damage. Yes, it's short range, but I'll tell you what, if your enemy's coming to you, if you're playing a defensive game,
and you'll see machine guns come up on lighter mechs, on the light scout mechs, because they are so easy to fit into a mech.
Yeah.
And they're good against infantry, which is bad for light mechs. I mean, your assault mechs, you can lose a leg as easy as the next person, but a light mech, if you get mobbed by infantry, you will go down.
Yeah,
You'll
that's
get
right.
blown up. And they're really good for that. They're a very specific use weapon, but I think they're a good one.
But they are featured on quite a few designs, like you're saying.
Lots and lots of
they are useful.
mechs have machine guns on them. Even a lot of the vehicles will have a backup machine gun on them for anti-personnel and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
They're just solid weapons. I mean, who doesn't like a machine gun?
I think less people now. It's all good.
Yeah, once you've pushed them into the infantry lot, then lots of less people. You can wipe out whole towns with it. It's just rude.
So there we are. It's the humble machine gun. Not so humble anymore. It's quite good. If you know how to use it right, it can be quite good.
And if you are modding your mechs, then I would give it serious consideration. You won't necessarily put one in there, but I would definitely consider them every time. All good.
Okay, well that's it for that one. So
Alrighty.
Thank you very much. See you next video.
Bye guys.